Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we got a Duramax here that the customer was complaining about some sort of like groaning from the front end, and it didn't make any different sounds in four-wheel drive versus two-wheel drive, so I'm pretty certain it's a hub. It sounds like a hub. GM hubs go bad all the time, especially on heavy-duty trucks like this. So we're gonna go ahead and replace a set of hubs, and I'll show you how to do it. So it's pretty funny, my customer's truck is identical to my truck, except my truck is totally blown out. Since we have the wheel off, one of the first things I like to do is just take off this tie rod so that we can get some movement out of the wheel. And the easiest way to release these taper locks is literally always like this. See? Gone. That's the easiest way to get it, because what happens is this is a conical fit. So what you're trying to do is just shock it so much that it kind of squeezes the whole taper out. The only way to do it. And now we can move the whole knuckle back and forth, and that makes our job a lot easier. So to get to the axle nut, what we're gonna have to do is pop off this little cap here. You get behind it with a chisel and a hammer. You kind of want to work your way around it because they're pretty easy to bang open, like in such a way that they're never gonna make a seal again. But they do often come off pretty easy. Sometimes I give it a little whack. I don't know if you can see that. Sometimes I give it a little whack like that, and there it goes. Comes right off. The axle nut, since these are unit bearings, they don't have a cotter pin or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure it's like a 32 millimeter or something like that. I got a 36 on it. It's loose, but it'll take it off. There's just a few things I want to say before I take off a brake, pretty much ever. I like to have these ready, especially for these 2500 calipers, because they are ridiculously heavy. I've never had them break the brake line, but it's always a risk. You obviously just hook this thing up and put it behind, put it on the control arm or something. And then to make it easier to reinstall everything, I like to get a pry bar in here and try to compress the caliper up just a little so that everything's kind of relaxed when you go to put it back together. See how it's coming back. So now this is the caliper's kind of relaxed now, but we don't need to actually remove the caliper from the caliper bracket. We're just going to remove the two 13/16 bolts right over here. So if you're doing the Allens, it's not like you're doing it wrong. It's just you don't need to do it. Now's a good time to spray down these the bolts for the hub. Just gonna make it a little easier for them to come out. You don't want to have to fight them the whole way out. Okay, so now you can see where taking off this tie rod helps a lot. Now you can get behind here and get to these bolts a lot easier and get your impact in here, because who wants to fight them off the whole way? I'm finding that a 21 and a swivel works. So let's give it a shot. Sometimes you can get a straight shot at it, but sometimes not. You're gonna want to get down all these holdouts for the ABS wires, and then you're gonna follow it right up into the wheel well right there, and you're gonna undo the clip, and she'll come right out. Okay, so that's it. The wire's out, and pretty much ready to hammer this hub off. So this guy should come off pretty easy because this truck's not like in too bad a shape, but that's it. That's all it took. So you want to make sure you kind of guide it out of the CV axle. It's kind of free of the CV axle. Just kind of wanted to give you an idea of how bad this hub actually is. This is the passenger side. If you listen closely, Yeah, that's horrible. I mean, you could only imagine what kind of noise that makes. And I think the seal must have gone out in some way, shape, or form. And once you let salt into a bearing, it's all over. Now, this one doesn't have any play to it. Usually bearings, you know, get some play before they start making some obnoxious noises, but this one failed differently. But either way, good time to replace both front hubs. G, wheel bearings are friends, not food. Okay, so it's all ready to go back together. I always try to clean this surface up a little bit and this surface in here up a little bit, throw some anti-seize on it, so whoever's got to do it next, they're going to be okay and not have so much of an issue. You always want to get an ABS a hub with the ABS sensor on it, because good chance you're never going to be able to get this ABS sensor out of the bore. So I'm going to put some anti-seize on this and put it back together. And the hardest part is just kind of lining everything up. It's really brute work. There's nothing actually difficult about it. Okay, so this is a good opportunity to show you a little trick I learned a while back. So when you're trying to put in like a ball joint or a tie rod and you just can't get it to tighten up because all it does is spin, that's never going to work for you. That little hex they give you to hold on top of it, never going to work. Let me show you a little trick. Okay, so you get the biggest pry bar you can find, and you want to force that taper together like so. And there you go. She's tight. So here's another little trick you can do if you don't have an impact or you're having a hard time getting something off with an impact. Like if this thing's spinning, and let's say you're trying to tighten it, throw the pry bar up against the ground like that between the lugs. And now you can go ahead and get a good torque on it. So that's all there is to the install. They're actually really easy to install, provided everything comes apart. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, leave a comment. Thanks. Bye.